Today we continue the property of definite integral. In the last class we have discussed about up to the property 7. Now today we are going to study the property 8. Property 8. Now integration 0 to nt fx dx can be written as n into 0 to t fx dx, where n belongs to integer and t is equal to period of the function, that is f of x plus t we can write as f of x. Now this property is very important. Now we see the proof of this property. So now we can write as 0 to nt fx dx. We can write as now 0 to t fx dx plus t to 2t fx dx plus 2t to 3t fx dx. In this way we can write the last term n minus 1 t nt fx dx. So now this value is 0 to t fx dx, and this integration we can write as 0 to t f of x plus t dx. This integral we can write as 0 to t f of x plus 2t dx. Now in this way last integral we can write as n minus 1 t 0 to nt f of x plus n minus 1 into t dx. Okay, so now since fx is a periodic function with period t, so this can be written as f of x 0 to t fx dx, and this can be written as 0 to t again f of x dx, because fx is a periodic function. Now last one we can write as, this will be 0 to t. 0 to t we can write as f of x dx. So now here we see that how many integral is present, total n times, so we can write as 0 to t f of x dx. Okay, so now the geometrical interpretations of this result is, suppose a function is given like this, you have to calculate the area of these functions. The function is like this, and which is a periodic function, suppose 0 to t, then t to 2t. In this way it is defined as n minus 1 t to nt. Okay, now what we see that this area, if we calculate the value of this area, which is equal to 0 to t fx dx. Now this area present how many times? N times. So therefore the total integration 0 to nt fx dx we can write as the 0 to t this area fx dx, and how many times it is present? N times. So geometrically it indicates it. Okay, I hope all of you understand this proof. This completes our proof, and this is the geometrical interpretations. Now we go for the next property. Property 9. Now this property say that integration a to a plus nt fx dx can be written as n into 0 to t fx dx, where n belongs to integer and t is the period, that is f of x plus t, we has f of x. Now proof of this property. Now a to a plus nt fx dx. We can write this property in this way. We can break the interval a to 0 fx dx plus 0 to nt fx dx. Then we can write as nt to a plus nt and fx dx. Okay. Now what we see that this can be written as a to 0 fx dx as it is, and here since fx is a periodic functions and n is the integer and fx has the period t, so we can write as 0 to t using the previous property fx dx. Okay, since we can write here since 0 to nt fx dx is equal to n into 0 to t fx dx using the property 8. Again, now for this integral, what we can do, we can substitute this value. Now here if we substitute the value of x like y plus nt, what will happen? Now when we put the value of x as nt, we get the value of y is 0. Now when we put the value of x as a plus nt, then we get the value of y is a. Now f of x value is y plus nt, and dx from here we get dx equal to d of y. So now we can write as a to 0 fx dx plus n times 0 to t fx dx, and the next result, since it is 0 to a and we can write that f of y plus nt, since f is a periodic function with period t, therefore it can be written as f of y dy, f of y dy. Now again a to 0 fx dx, and this can be written as n into 0 to t fx dx, and since we know that the value of the integration is independent of change of variable, so we can write as 0 to a f of x dx. Now here we see that limit a to 0 fx dx, here we see that 0 to a fx dx. Now these two cancel out. When we interchange the limit, we get one negative sign, so therefore these two integral cancel out. Now we have n times of 0 to t fx dx. This completes our proof. Property 10, integration nt to mt fx dx can be written as m minus n 0 to t fx dx, where m and n belongs to integer and t is the period, that is f of x plus t is equal to f of x. Now the proof of this property, nt fx dx, this is our integral, so now we call this is integral I. Now here I am going to substitute x value, I am taking as y plus nt. Now when the value of x is nt, so we get y is equal to 0, so therefore y can be written as 0. When the value of x is mt, we can write m minus n, the value of y is this. Now f of x value is y plus nt, and the differentiation dx is equal to the dy. So now here we see that some integral multiple of t is present, so m minus n is the integer, it will be outside 0 to t f of y plus nt dt. Since we can use this property 0 to nt fx dx, we can write as n into 0 to t fx dx. So now what we see that m minus n 0 to t f of y plus nt dt, it can be written as 0 to t f of y dy as f of f is periodic, or you can write as f of y plus t is equal to f of y. Since we know that the value of integration is independent of change of variable, so we can write as f of y dy as f of x dx. This completes our proof. Property 11, integration a plus nt to b plus mt fx dx can be written as integration a to b f of x dx, where n belongs to integer and t is the period of the function f of x plus t is equal to, we have f of x. Now proof of this property. Now it is integral which is I equal to, we assume a plus nt to b plus nt fx dx. Now here we put x is equal to y plus nt, and dx we can write as dy. So now this can be written as a to b f of y dy, since we know that since f is a periodic function, so since f of y plus t we can write as f of y. F is a periodic function with period t. So now since integration is independent of change of variable, so we can write as f of y dy as f of x dx. So this completes our proof. Question number 1 based on this property is integration 0 to pi 1 minus mod of sine 8x dx. Now how can we solve this problem? Solution, we can write in this way: I is equal to integration 0 to pi dx minus integration 0 to pi mod of sine 8x dx. Okay, so now integration of dx is x, we can take the value 0 to pi. Here what we see that we know the sine x, we know that sine x mod of sine x is periodic function with period pi. So therefore sine of 8x mod, it has the period pi by 8. So therefore we can write these things as pi by 8 multiply with 8. Now mod of sine 8x dx. So therefore here we apply one formula. Now upper limit is pi, lower limit is 0. So here we use one formula, that is 0 to nt fx dx, which can be written as n into 0 to t fx dx. So now since n is 8 here, so we can take 8 outside, so it will be 0 to pi by 8 mod of sine 8x dx. Okay, so now value of x lying between 0 to pi by 8, x lying between pi by 8 to 0, so 8x lying between pi to 0, and in this range sine is positive, so we can open the mod, we get 0 to pi by 8 and sine of 8x dx. Now then pi minus 8, we integrate sine, so we get minus cos, so this minus minus become plus cos of 8x divided by 8, and range is 0 to pi by 8. Pi by 8 get cancelled, so we have pi plus. Now when we put here in the place of x pi by 8, we get cos pi, whose value is minus 1, then minus cos 0 again 1, so answer is pi minus 2. Hope all of you understand this. Question number 2, integration 0 to 10 e power 4x minus box of 4x, and here we have x minus box of x. Now how can we integrate this function? Now here this symbol is for GIF, greatest integer function, or we can say that box of x function. So now we know one definition, that fractional part of x is x minus box of x. So according to these definitions, we can write as 0 to 10 e power fractional part of 4x d fractional part of x. Again we know that fractional part of x has the period 1. So 4 times of fractional part of x has the period 1 by 4. So as a result we can write 10 as 1 by 4 into 40. So what we have, when we multiply we get again 10, and e to the power fractional part of 4x d of fractional part of x. As a result, here we use one formula 0 to nt fx dx, which is equal to n into 0 to t fx dx. So now what will happen, we take this 40 outside, so 0 to 1 by 4, now e power fractional part of x dx, d of fractional part of x. Now x lying between 0 to 1 by 4. When x lying between 1 by 4 to 0, so 4 times of x lying between 0 to 1. And in this value, fractional part of x will be 4x, and fractional part of x is only x in this range. So as a result, we get 40, 0 to 1 by 4, e power 4x, and then dx. Now 40 e power 4x by 4, and the limit 0 to 1 by 4. Now this 40 and 4 cancel out, we get 10. Now here when we put 1 by 4, 4 cancel out, it will be e power 1, then e power 0 is 1. Next question is question number 3. Now we have to find the value of the integration minus 1 to plus 1 fx dx, where fx is given as minimum value of between these two functions. One is x plus 1 fractional part of x plus 1 comma fractional part of x minus 1. Okay, now we have to take these two functions, minimum of these two. Now how do you integrate? Solutions. We know that the nature of the fractional part function, we know this. Now the graph of the function is look like this. Okay, now what we see that this is the curve which is y is equal to x, then 0, 1, 2, 3, that is minus 1, minus 2. So here we have y is equal to x minus 1, and in this region we have y is equal to x plus 1. Now in two ways we can solve this problem, as we know that fractional part of x plus 1 is same as fractional part of x minus 1, which is equal to same as fractional part of x. So what we have, I is equal to minus 1 to plus 1 fractional part of x dx. Now we know that fractional part has period 1. So what we can write, minus 1 into 1 and then 1 into 1. And here I am going to use the formula, that is nt to mt, where n and m are integer fx dx, which can be written as m minus n 0 to t fx dx. Same logic I am going to use here. Our n is minus 1 and m is plus 1. So 1 minus of minus 1, 0 to period, then fractional part of x dx. So what we have, 2, 0 to 1, then fractional part of x between 0 to 1, we know that it is x dx, which is equal to 2 into, now x square by 2, and the value is 0 to 1. These two cancel out, we have 1. So this is the one way we can solve the problem. Now in another way, in method 2 we can solve. In method 2 we can also solve. Now minus 1 to plus 1, we have to find the integrations. So what we see that if you take the integration from minus 1 to 0 and then 0 to 1, what we see that we get two triangles which are the congruent triangle. So if we calculate the area of this triangle, which is equal to half into base into height, that is 1 by 2. So same triangle we get here also, which has the same area, 1 by 2. So therefore as a result when we add, so minus 1 to plus 1 fractional part of x, so we dx we get half plus half 1. So in another way we can solve this problem. Question number 4, I is equal to given as 0 to v plus n pi mod of sin x dx. We have to find the value of this integral where the v lying between 0 to pi and n belongs to natural number. Now how can we solve this problem? So we know that mod of sin x has the period pi, so therefore we can write in this way 0 to v mod of sin x dx plus v2 v plus n pi mod of sin x dx. So now we know that mod of sin x has the period pi, and here we can use one property, that is a to a plus nt fx dx. We can write as n into 0 to t fx dx. So now what will happen, now 0 to v and v lying between 0 to pi, so what will happen, we can write in this way 0 to v, so sin x is positive in this interval, so as a result we can write sin x dx. Now here we can write as n into 0 to pi mod of sin x dx using this result. So therefore integration of sin x is cos of x and the value 0 to v. Here we get since 0 to it will be pi, 0 to pi, in this range sin is positive, so you can write as 0 to pi you can write then sin x dx. So now when you put here x in the place of x v, so you get cos of v, then minus minus plus cos of 0 degree. Here you get n. Now the integration of sin, you get minus cos x and the limit is 0 to pi. So what we have, cos of v, cos 0 is 1 plus n. Now when you put x is equal to pi, you get minus 1 minus minus plus 1, then again when you put 0 you get 1. So what we have, 1 plus 1 2, 2 into 1 2n, 2 plus 2 into n 2n plus 1 minus cos v. This is the answer. Okay. Now in the next class we will discuss the property, that is Leibniz rules for the definite integrals.